Are you doing this every day? A plate of green vegetables, a high-fiber meal, even a glass of vegetable juice every morning. Do you still believe that eating lots of vegetables is the best way to stay healthy? But let's stop for a moment. If you've been eating healthy, exercising diligently, even taking vitamins, but your legs are still tired, your knees are still sore, and walking is becoming more and more difficult, then you may have overlooked something very important. The question is, are all vegetables really good for people over 60? The answer, it might shock you, not all vegetables are friendly to your feet. Some types, despite being labeled healthy, can be silent culprits that cause muscle weakness, arthritis, and reduced mobility in the elderly. Sounds ridiculous, right? Since childhood, we have been taught that eating more vegetables is good. The doctor said so. TV said so. Your children may advise you the same. And honestly, you believe that too. But if you're over 60, your body is no longer the same, digestion is slower, inflammation increases, and every substance you take in has a more pronounced impact than ever. And that's when seemingly harmless vegetables start to backfire. Have you ever felt like this? After lunch, do you feel your lower back is tired and your legs are weak? Every morning when you wake up, do you find your knees stiff and difficult to stand? Walk a short distance but your thighs feel heavy and your calves have a dull ache. If you've ever experienced these things without knowing the cause, maybe the problem lies right in your plate of vegetables. Today, I will explore with you 8 types of vegetables that seem good but are secretly making millions of Americans over 60 weak in the legs, losing balance, and even at greater risk of falling. These vegetables are not poisons, but they are not suitable with the aging body of the elderly. And the scariest thing is, very few people know this. These vegetables can worsen arthritis, increase water retention, weaken leg muscles or affect blood sugar levels, all of which silently erode leg strength every day. At the end of the video, I will share 3 simple ways to eat vegetables properly and restore strength to your legs. There's no need to completely give up your favorite foods. You don't need to panic. But you need to know the truth. If you find your legs are weak, even though you've been eating properly for a long time, don't miss this video. You have recognition when young, their bodies can process almost any type of food without problem. But after the age of 60, things begin to change silently inside. Progress metabolism slows down, muscles begin to atrophy over time, bones become more brittle, and the digestive system is no longer as strong as before. This causes some vegetables, as good as they sound, to become burden on the feet of the elderly. Some common vegetables contain natural compounds such as oxalate, solanine, purine, or even substance that causes bloating and water retention. For an aging body, these substances can hinders calcium absorption, weakening bones. Stimulates inflammatory response, causing dull pain in the joints. Causes water retention, causing leg swelling and muscle fatigue. Increased uric acid, leading to joint pain or numbness. So, not all vegetables are suitable for older people. In fact, if you don't understand it correctly, you may be eating vegetables that make your legs weaker without even realizing it. Understanding your body after 60 is the first step to eating smarter, and keeping your feet healthy for the long haul. Top 8 types of vegetables that cause weak legs for the elderly. 1. Spinach. Spinach. Spinach, also known as spinach, has long been hailed as one of the healthiest superfood vegetables. It often appears in the diets of dieters, bodybuilders, and people interested in healthy nutrition. With abundant iron, vitamin K, vitamin A, and antioxidants, spinach is considered a miracle drug for blood, eyes, and bones. Even many older people eat spinach every day because they believe it helps nourish blood, prevent osteoporosis, and aids digestion. However, the truth is not always what you think. Few people know that spinach is also one of the vegetables richest in oxalate in nature. A possible plant compound prevents the body from absorbing calcium and increases the risk of kidney stone formation if consumed too much. And for older people, when bone density has begun to decline, and the ability to absorb minerals is no longer what it used to be, eating too much spinach can be harmful. Causes calcium imbalance, causing bones get weaker instead of stronger, and especially negatively affects leg muscles and knee joints. This is even worse if you often eat raw spinach in salads, drink spinach-based green juice, or stir-fry it in oil without combining it with other balanced foods. Symptoms of eating spinach regularly and excessively. Dull pain in the knee or ankle after walking. Cramping at night despite drinking enough water. Feeling unusually tired in the legs, especially after meals. Mild numbness in the calf or heel area. More severe cases may include kidney stones or difficulty urinating, if oxalate accumulates for a long time. Note, spinach is still a good vegetable, but for people over 60 years old, you should only eat moderate amounts, cooked and combined with calcium-rich foods such as salmon, yogurt, or tofu to neutralize the effects of oxalate. 2. Tomatoes. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are one of the most familiar and popular foods on every family's dining table. With their eye-catching red color, mild sour taste and the ability to be flexibly combined in many dishes, tomatoes have long been considered a symbol of healthy meal. Not only delicious, tomatoes are also famous for high lycopene content, a powerful antioxidant that is said to help protect the heart and reduces the risk of cancer and improve skin. Therefore, many elderly people believe that eating tomatoes every day is a great way to stay youthful and stay healthy. However, this is a part of the story that few people talk about. Tomatoes belong to the family nightshade, a group of plants containing compounds alkaloid solanine. Solanine is a natural substance that can trigger an inflammatory response in the body, especially in people with sensitive constitutions or suffering from arthritis or degenerative joint disease. For people over 60 years old, the immune system is weakened, and joints have worn out over time. Eating tomatoes every day, especially eat raw or make sauce frequently, can make the condition severe arthritis, leading to leg pain, knee swelling, difficulty walking. Symptoms when eating tomatoes regularly for older people. Joint stiffness in the morning, especially the knees and ankles. Sharp pain when going up and down stairs. Feeling of heat and pain deep in the joints, especially in the toes and knees. Limbs are tired and show signs of mild fluid retention. Joint pain gets worse when the weather is cold or humid. Note, if you love tomatoes, it is not necessary to completely eliminate them. Try reducing the frequency, choosing well-ripe, cooked tomatoes instead of eating them raw, and always monitor your body's reactions. If after each meal of tomatoes your legs feel heavier, that may be a signal to make adjustments. 3. Eggplant. Eggplant. Eggplant, aka eggplant, is a vegetable that many people love because it is easy to prepare, soft, fragrant and especially good for the heart. In traditional dishes such as eggplant grilled with onions, braised, or stir-fried with garlic, it always occupies a familiar place in family meals, especially among the elderly. In addition, eggplant is also praised as high in fiber, low in calories, helps control weight and stabilize blood sugar, one reason why many elderly people eat eggplant regularly in their diet. However, there is a fact that few people know: eggplant also belongs to the family nightshade, like tomatoes. That means it contains alkaloid solanine, a substance can cause inflammation, especially in older people with weak immune systems or chronic bone and joint diseases. The concern is solanine not completely lost when cooked, and elderly people who eat eggplant regularly can silently accumulate solanine in the body. The results are leg pain, joint swelling, and reduced mobility, especially the knee, ankle, and calf areas. Symptoms when eating eggplant regularly in people over 60 years old. Dull pain in the knee or hip joint, especially after meals. Leg muscles feel heavy as if they are retaining water. Difficulty sleeping due to muscle cramps or stiffness at night. Easily gets tired when standing for a long time or walking. There is a feeling of back fatigue and leg pain for unknown reasons. Note, if you like eggplant, please reduce frequency to 1 to 2 times/week, and avoid eating it without cooking it thoroughly. Combine with anti-inflammatory foods like olive oil, fatty fish, or cabbage neutralizes the effects of solanine. In particular, you should monitor your body's reaction after each meal to make appropriate adjustments. 4. Beets. Beetroot is a tuber with a characteristic purple-red color, often considered a superfood because it contains many natural antioxidants, iron, folate and nitrates. Many older people are advised to use beetroot. Strengthens blood, supports blood pressure, and nourishes the body. Beetroot juice is also considered a liver detoxifying drink. Clean blood vessels and improve circulation. Many people over 60 years old add beetroot to their weekly menu with the hope of living a healthy, long life. However, what few people know is that beets are also on the list of foods rich in oxalate. Substance can reduces calcium absorption and causes kidney stone formation if you eat a lot and not properly. For the elderly, especially those who already have low bone density or arthritis, the silent accumulation of oxalates can cause bones weaken, legs ache easily, and muscle fatigue increases, making it difficult to walk. It's even more dangerous when beets are often pressed raw or boiled, a way of eating that increases the amount of oxalate not decomposed enough, causing pressure on the kidneys, joints and entire musculoskeletal system of the elderly. Symptoms when eating beetroot regularly in the elderly. Feeling dull pain in lower back or calves. Mild swelling of the ankle or knee after meals. Painful urination, or light pink urine, signs that the kidneys are filtering a lot of oxalate. Legs get tired easily, numb or feel like unsteady walking. If eaten with other vegetables rich in oxalate such as spinach, the risk is higher. Note, beets do not need to be completely removed. But people over 60 years old should be limited to 1 to 2 times/week, cook thoroughly, and drink enough water to help the kidneys eliminate oxalate. In addition, it should be eaten with foods rich in calcium, such as yogurt, salmon, tofu, to reduce harmful effects. 5. Kale. Kale, also known as kale, is known as the king of green leafy vegetables. It stands out for its high fiber content, rich in vitamins A, C, K, calcium, and powerful antioxidants. Over the years, kale has become a symbol of the superfood and appears commonly in salads, smoothies, and even dried snacks. Many people over 60 years old believe that adding kale to their meals is taking care of their bones, joints, heart and increasing resistance. But there is a downside that few people know. Kale is rich in vitamin K, and this is not always good for older people. Vitamin K plays an important role in blood clotting. But when too much vitamin K taken into the body, especially through kale, it can cause interactions with common anticoagulants in the elderly, like warfarin. The results are, poor blood circulation can easily cause fluid accumulation in the legs, a feeling of heaviness, swelling and reduced flexibility when moving. In addition, kale also contains goitrogen, a possible substance affects thyroid function, causing older people to easily fall into a state of fatigue, weak legs, and endocrine imbalance. Symptoms of eating kale too often. Feeling heavy legs, numbness after meals. Mild swelling in the ankle or calf. Unusual fatigue, accompanied by slightly cold hands and feet. Feeling mildly dizzy when standing up suddenly. Dry, slightly pale skin if the thyroid is affected. Note, kale is not bad, but if you are taking anticoagulants or have thyroid problems, ask your doctor before using regularly. You should eat kale thoroughly cooked, don't eat raw often, and rotate with other vegetables such as bok choy, cooked spinach, or steamed broccoli. 6. Green peppers, green bell peppers. Green bell pepper, aka green bell pepper, is a popular vegetable, often appearing in stir-fries, salads, or grilled dishes. With its mild flavor, eye-catching color, and high amount of vitamin C, green bell peppers have long been considered an ideal choice for people who want to strengthen the immune system and protect cells. Many older people also love this vegetable because they think it helps nourish the eyes, is good for the skin and the heart. However, there is something that few people know. Green bell peppers are also in the group nightshades, is in the same family as tomatoes and eggplants, and so it also contains alkaloid solanine. Solanine is the possible compound stimulates a mild inflammatory response in the body, and in people over 60, when joint tissue and the immune system are already weakened. Eating too many green bell peppers, especially raw, can contribute to increased joint pain, leg fatigue, and feeling of stiffness after waking up. In particular, undercooked green bell peppers are often more difficult to digest than other vegetables, making them easier to digest flatulence, indigestion, causing blood to circulate to the legs less effectively after meals. Symptoms if eating green bell peppers regularly in the elderly. Morning stiffness, especially in the knees and ankles. Difficulty sleeping, restlessness at night, or a feeling of twitching in the legs when lying down. Bloating, indigestion, accompanying cold limbs. Back fatigue, numb legs after meals. Sometimes I feel mildly anxious for unknown reasons, due to solanine's neurological effects. Note, if you love bell peppers, choose red or yellow peppers, because they are a riper version of green peppers, contain less solanine and are easier to digest. Limit eating raw green chili, should stir-fry or grill thoroughly, and don't eat continuously for many days in a row. 7. Mushrooms, white mushrooms. White mushrooms, especially the white button mushroom, has long been considered a health food thanks to its low-calorie properties, high fiber, selenium, natural vitamin D, and contains several immune-supporting compounds. Older people are often encouraged to eat mushrooms because it helps supplement minerals and aids in weight control. However, behind that benign appearance is a truth that few people know. White mushrooms may not be suitable for people over 60 years old, especially those who are having joint, circulatory problems or gout. Why? Because white mushrooms contain purine, a substance that when entering the body will be converted into uric acid. For young people, the body can handle this amount of acid well. But for older people, the ability to excrete uric acid through the kidneys slows down. Result? Uric acid gradually accumulates in the joints, especially in the joints' toes, knees, ankles, cause inflammation, pain, and stiffness. In particular, mushrooms when eaten continuously for many days, especially if not cooked thoroughly, can cause damage, increases the risk of foot swelling and pain, making walking more difficult, especially early in the morning. Common symptoms when eating white mushrooms regularly in the elderly. Feeling sudden sharp pain in toe joints, especially when waking up. Stiff knees, difficulty standing up when sitting for a long time. My calves are tired, even walking a short distance makes my legs feel heavy. Sometimes see tingling in the legs or mild burning sensation in the feet. If you eat a lot of mushrooms plus red meat, the risk of gout flare-ups is higher. Note, if you like mushrooms, go for it. Mushrooms are lower in purine like enoki mushrooms, chicken drumstick mushrooms, and should boil or cook thoroughly. Avoid eating raw or stir-fried. Especially if you have a history of joint pain or gout, limit white mushrooms in your diet. Yours. 8. Raw broccoli, raw broccoli. Broccoli, aka broccoli, is one of the national vegetables in the world of healthy eating. Rich in vitamin C, K, fiber, calcium and many anti-cancer compounds, broccoli is often recommended in weight loss, anti-aging, and disease prevention menus. However, the problem lies in the way it is processed. A lot of older people eat broccoli the same way: eat raw, make salad, mix cold, or lightly steamed but still chewy. This seems to preserve nutrients, but for people after 60 years old, can cause serious side effects. Why? Raw broccoli contains goitrogens, a possible substance disrupt thyroid function, especially when eaten in large amounts. For the elderly, the thyroid gland weakens, causing the body to get tired easily, have cold feet, reduce metabolism and increase the feeling of fatigue, especially in the legs. Also, raw broccoli very difficult to digest for the elderly stomach. It's easy to cause flatulence, bloating, making blood circulate slower, causing legs feeling heavy, slightly swollen or tired after meals. Symptoms when eating raw broccoli regularly in the elderly. Unusually tired legs after meals or at night. Cold feet, cold hands, difficult to warm the body. Difficulty sleeping, not sleeping deeply. Bloating, flatulence, indigestion. Loss of strength during light activities, such as climbing stairs or going for a walk. Note, broccoli is still a good friend if you know how to eat right. Let's boil until soft, steam thoroughly or cook in soup, should not be eaten raw or lightly cooked for the elderly. Alternatively, it can be replaced with cooked cauliflower, bok choy, and spinach to diversify the menu and make it easier to digest. So you've gone through all 8 types of vegetables that seem good but might not be silently weakens the legs yours every day. At this point, you may be wondering. So what vegetables should I eat now? Do we have to abstain from all 8 vegetables mentioned above? The answer is, no need to be afraid of vegetables. But you need to understand your body and choose the right way to eat. Because every body is different. The important thing is not to avoid it completely, but rather know what you're eating, and how to eat it to suit your age, bones, and changing digestive system. 3 principles for keeping your legs healthy when eating vegetables after 60 years old. Cook thoroughly, avoid eating raw. Raw, undercooked vegetables can be difficult to digest, causing bloating and water retention, especially broccoli, kale, and eggplant. Rotate, don't eat the same thing over and over again too often. For example, instead of eating spinach every day, alternate with bok choy, boiled water spinach, or steamed cabbage. Combine vegetables with neutral foods. For example, if you eat oxalate-rich vegetables like beets and spinach, eat with calcium-rich foods like tofu, salmon, or yogurt to reduce the risk of mineral loss and support muscles, bones, joints. Sometimes, it's not age that makes you weak. It's about seemingly harmless eating habits, repeated for many years, but the body no longer suits them. Today, if you learn something new, see that's it, one step forward. One option. A chance to start over, with your body, your legs, the health you deserve. How many of these 8 vegetables do you eat each week? Have you ever felt weak, tired, or achy in your legs for no apparent reason? Type number 1 if you ever thought all vegetables were good. Type number 2 if you have ever experienced symptoms like the video mentioned. Leave a comment and share with everyone, because maybe your experience will help someone else. Don't forget to click like the video, share with relatives, and subscribe to the channel to receive more useful health content every week. Strong legs do not depend on youth. Healthy legs thanks to the right choice from today.